Now, I'm sure you guys have like seen the headlines. So I'm just gonna give you some context to the situation, and it's the situation of the submersible that has gone missing while doing an exposition of the Titanic. Now, I've been very interested in this topic, not because of just, well, I mean, it is just an interesting situation, but it's also just extremely terrifying. Like, if you just look into it and kind of what the possible results of this could be. And it's just kind of scary to think about, but it is, again, interesting, so I just want to talk about it here. So I've been researching and looking into this for the past few hours, and here's all the information I've gathered so far. I'm going to try and make it as brief as possible, and try is the key word there, because there's like an essay of information. So just starting off, the submersible is like a Cyclops-class manned submersible, which just named the Titan, and I'm going to refer to it, because for the rest of the video, I'm not going to be like, so the Cyclops-class submersible went to the depth of... No, that's stupid. I'm not doing it. So pretty much, it has a 5-person crew, all cramped together in this tiny little space. I'll show you a picture of it. So, you know, if you're claustrophobic... So there's 5 people currently on board, and one of them is actually the founder of the company that offers these tours, which is OceanGate. So the Titan was launched by its like actual launching vessel, because it doesn't just like go there normally by itself. Obviously, it's not just gonna sail there. That's not how it works. No, it has to be dropped on a boat like every other, you know, submersible. And that ship was the Polar Prince, and after launching, the Polar Prince actually lost contact with the sub only 45 minutes into the 8-hour exhibition. That's not very good. And they still haven't been able to reach the sub, and it was thought to be deployed on June 18th, which was this week's Sunday. So it's been quite a while, considering I'm recording this on June 20th. So it's safe to say things aren't looking good here. So I'm just gonna run you through a few problems that this entire thing has, and they're pretty scary. So the first problem is the life support system that this vessel has. It has 96 hours worth of oxygen as its life support, which is pretty damn good. That's like, what, 4 days? But since it's been missing since the 18th, they've done a lot of reports and a lot of investigation internally. So Captain Jamie Frederick has confirmed that there is about 41 hours of oxygen left, estimated, of course. Which, I mean, is still quite a lot, but that's not exactly ideal. Ideal would have been, you know, nothing went wrong in the first place. And another problem is the way that the search needs to be conducted. Since they don't necessarily know where the sub is in any capacity, they're looking on the surface, and they're trying to look below the water as well. It's a submersible. It might be underwater. I know, mind blown, right? So that immediately complicates the search. So for the underwater search, the Polar Prince, which was the main launching ship, as well as Coast Guard, and I believe now the US and Canadian Navy, as of now, they've just been deployed, I believe, are using sonar to try and locate the Titan. But you see, this can pose a bit of a problem, especially if the ship is obstructed by something. Now, what this something could be, I don't really know. I mean, for example, it could be a giant shipwreck that was put there in 1912 by an iceberg. You know, just a thought. So that's already a bit of an issue, as well as just the vast nature, because it's quite a large area that they're, you know, searching in. I believe the initial site they're searching is about the size of Connecticut, so, you know, quite big. Now, they've also deployed 2 ROVs to just kind of help search around and find the Titan. And if you don't know, an ROV is just kind of like another submersible, but it's mainly used for like repairs and that sort of thing for the oil industry. Like, you know how they have those big rigs in the middle of the ocean? That's pretty much what they're used for. And for the above water search, they're using just planes to fly around the area, as well as civilian vessels that are in the area to see if they can find anything, as well as like the Polar Prince and any military vessels that have entered the area now. So not only are the Polar Prince and the actual military vessels doing the sonar, but they're also looking above water as well. But unfortunately, so far, there hasn't been any results. They haven't found anything, which is quite worrying. But as I said, the search area is quite large, so as I'm sure you can imagine, it's not exactly an easy thing to do. And this is where you get to really the scariest parts of this whole thing. So I want to talk about the depth. So this is one of the main problems. So the wreck of the Titanic is about 12,500 feet in that vicinity, that ballpark, and that would give you about 6,000 pounds per square inch of pressure. So you really have to be in a submersible that's built real tough so that you don't immediately die. Now, for example, yeah, I said it's 6,000 pounds per square inch of pressure. Now, it takes about 115 to kill a human. So if there was a breach in the hull, they would immediately die. They probably wouldn't even feel it. It would be so quick. It would be like I'm not even trying to be like rude or disrespectful here, but it would be like if you got an egg and just went, but like at light speed. That's pretty much what would happen. So if they're not rescued, as cruel as it may sound, that is the best possible scenario if they're not rescued, is that they immediately died and didn't feel anything. And you might be saying, oh, that's really cruel. What is wrong with you? And first of all, the video is already long as it is. I can't list what's wrong with me. And second of all, once I explain to you the other possibilities, it's really fucked up. And I feel so awful for these people. So let's just get something out of the way right now. Since they haven't contacted the Polar Prince, which was, as I've said like 3 times now, the main launching ship, so I'm just going to shut up about that. They haven't contacted the Polar Prince ever since 45 minutes into the journey. So either A, they have been immediately crushed, or B, there is something horribly wrong with the communication devices and they can't communicate, which is debatably worse than being crushed. So with that in mind, let's just say maybe they got snagged on debris or part of the wreckage of the Titanic. Now they're just fucking stuck down there. They can't communicate. They can't say where they are. They're just stuck down there with 41 hours of oxygen left. I don't think there's any food. I don't think there's any water in there. I think there's like a makeshift bathroom and that's it. In this cramped, tiny space. That is fucking torture. That is awful. That is a terrible way to go. Like that, I feel so awful for these people. That is nightmare fuel. They're just sitting in this cramped fucking tube, knowing death is looming any moment. And it's not like they can just bring any submersible down there to help. Like I said, they brought in the ROVs because they were specialized for deep sea. You see, you can't just bring anything down there. Oh, no. Because you know how fucking deep that is? That is ridiculously deep. You need to have very specialized equipment. It's like, okay, there's been a very good comparison. It's like you can't fly a plane to outer space to help fix a rocket ship. You need a spacecraft to do that, because a plane isn't meant to do that. So the comparison says you can't just get any old submersible or submarine to go down there. You have to get something specialized. So that already complicates it even further. Now, another possibility, which is equally terrifying or even more so terrifying, is that they just went off course. So now either they're far away from the search area or still in the search area and they just haven't located them. Because the Titan isn't exactly big. So it's 670 centimeters, 280 centimeters, and 250 centimeters. So it's only 22 feet long. That's almost like 7 meters. That's not very large in terms of plane looking down on the ocean. Okay, sometimes planes can't even find a plane that is floating on the ocean or sinking into the ocean, finding the wreckage, or even sonar can't even find wreckage sometimes of planes. So something that small, locating it is extremely difficult. So pretty much what I'm trying to say, if they have reached the surface, they can't find them. And like I was saying before, because it's such a specialized vessel that it needs to sustain extremely deep depth. That means the door is bolted shut from the outside with 17 bolts. So you're trapped in this fucking cylinder. So if you're just bobbing on the surface, it's not like you can get out to get more air. No. You're still running on the oxygen supply that you have. Because a submersible doesn't have, like, okay, so a submarine has systems in place that can generate its own oxygen. A submersible doesn't have that. So I believe that if they are on the surface, they can't get any air. They still have to rely on the life support oxygen, which is safe to say is not very good. That's terrifying, because if it runs out and you're bobbing on the surface and they still haven't found you yet, now you're dying on the surface while oxygen literally like this little bit away from you, like a wall thickness of like this much away from you. That is so fucked up. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, fuck, man. This is just, like, strengthens my fear of the ocean. Like, I'm not, like, scared of the ocean necessarily, but this isn't helping. Like, I don't want to go anywhere near the ocean. I mean, I wouldn't even want to dive to the Titanic anyways, but still. Like, this is really fucked. But all chances, but with everything considered, it's most likely that they just got crushed. Like losing communication 45 minutes into it just randomly, that's not really normal. And not being able to find them on the surface or below the surface, like something moving, that's not normal. So on the unfortunate reality is they probably got crushed. Now, of course, I can't confirm this, okay? I'm a fucking YouTuber with a little stupid tiny like squirrel brain, okay? All I know is funny thumbnail, make joke, tiny penis. That's my entire like job that I don't get paid for. So basically what I'm saying is I'm just trying to sum it up really quickly here so you don't have to read 6 million fucking articles just to get a general idea of this. So I'm going to keep my eye on this situation, and if anything comes up, I'll definitely make another video about it just quickly, just to give you the conclusion. That's all I really got for you today. Yippee.